Hey, it's Joseph here. I got a bunch of hardwares here and my background looks completely different. It is because I have moved and a lot of things are still jumbled around. You don't want to see that's outside of the frame. It still is being all organized, so it's a lot of mess. And I just want to shoot this video away so I can assemble this PC, which is going to be powering on the TV. So the case is from Silverstone and it is called Sugo series, and it is a very small Mini-ITX case, which it will fit everything. It's gonna sit under the TV in the living room, so I just didn't want something that is too bold or that sticks out, which I will unbox in a minute. It is from ASRock Mini-ITX board, has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. That's what I chose, and as long as it fits the CPU, that's fine. And CPU choice is i3. It is the most basic that you can go at the current gen, and to be specific, it is i3 8100 model. And the hard drive, obviously I don't want to go SSD because I'm not really expecting any speed out of this. I just want some sort of storage so I can store some videos to watch. And also here is the RAM, which is kind of value model from G.Skill, and I think everything will be fine with 8 gig, so I have ordered that here. And of course I need a power supply that's gonna power everything on. This is probably like the heaviest thing in here. So basically CX450 from Corsair. This will power everything just fine. And all of this I was able to get somewhere under $400, and you can pretty much find a lot of PCs at that price point on branded PC with similar specs. However, I just wanted the longevity of being able to upgrade, and I just like building PC and being able to share on videos. I like just fitting stuff into a small tiny case. It is enough challenging and it is very satisfying, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So forgive me for any noises that may come around because I'm still setting up everything. Hopefully you guys can hear me well and see me well. I'm yet to test everything else, but I just wanted to get this video out so I can have a PC to enjoy inside of the living room. And a little bit of behind the scene will come up because I need to set up the overhead camera. So I basically have a boom microphone stand over here, which is gonna hold my phone to do overhead view, and I just need this sort of adjustable head so that I can mount the phone easily and just kind of angle however I need to, but it's just sitting on this clamp, so I need to disassemble that. And no regular screwdriver can actually reach through here, so I need to use this tool here. Sounds like I've done this before. Yes, I have. And hopefully after I set this up, I can hook up the microphone so you guys can hear me better. I'll have a double microphone set up, so in case one is really bad in terms of sound quality, I'll be able to just revert to that one. So that's done. Screws on one side. So I basically have this set up where it is just mounting the phone here, and I have receiving end of a 1/4 inch screw for this. So I'm just gonna do that here. Maybe I'll be able to extend a little bit further out, so I'll use the one on the bottom. My phone goes here, like so, and then I can just mount this to the boom microphone. Let me shoot a video. So this is where the microphone is, and I'm just gonna attach to right here. And I also have a wireless screen that is right here, so I'll be able to see what is going on my phone. So this is basically my setup at the very moment. So let me just go ahead and connect to my wireless screen. So hopefully you can see what is going on. So I think everything is set up. So let's go ahead and open the boxes, except this hard drive, which is already open. And a manual. It is actually much smaller than I had thought, so I think this is gonna look nice in the living room. There are a few things in here. I can hear it. I'll sort that out later. So put that aside. I need a power supply. Oh, by the way, since you might be interested, I'll leave the link in the description for all of the parts that I have used, so you guys can use it if you want to. Okay, more paper. Leave that aside. Cable ties, I'm just gonna leave it there. It is all black, I like it. And these are most fragile pieces, so I'm just gonna leave it here until I need them. I will need IO shield, so I'll leave that out right here. SATA cables, and maybe leave one inside. And the antennas for the Wi-Fi, I like these better than the ones that come with like really expensive ASUS boards. These are much easier to install. My other machine, I purchased these separately, so I have these instead of the fancy one that doesn't really mount onto the board itself. Okay. I may need a manual for connecting all the front IO cables, so I'll just leave it aside. This is keep looking like a dust, so I just have tendency to wipe and realize it's just a texture on the print itself. Anyways. And this is for NVMe. There's a little screw there. I don't have NVMe drive, so I'm just gonna leave it in the box. You might want to avoid having the main board out on your table itself, but I have this cutting board, so it's fine. Or they have included this nice little foam, so I guess I'll just sit that there. First, I want to make sure I do the motherboard. Let me just zoom out a little bit. So first of all, let me do the CPU. Actually get the knife out again. And I didn't get a CPU cooler because Intel normally comes with its own CPU cooler. It's adequate, it's okay, because this is not really a fast CPU that puts out a lot of heat. So I don't really need anything excessive. And I'm not so concerned about the noise. If it really bothers me, then later on I'll just change it out to better, more silent cooler. But I was just more budget oriented than anything else. So this is a part that I don't want to touch because that's what's it's a thermal paste that's been pre-applied and it's gonna just attach to the CPU. So avoid touching that. I found this little plastic piece and it seems like it's a piece that has fallen out from the CPU cooler that is supposed to sit right here, and the CPU cooler is looking very old and dusty for some reason. So I may have to get in contact with a manufacturer for this CPU cooler because it just came broken piece. So here it is, a bit to what is going on. And I can actually wipe these parts out and it just comes off. I don't know what's going on with this. I may have to request for a replacement. Hopefully it turns on at least, and it's a broken, so this is wobbling, which is not good at all. Well, I'll install it for the sake of this video and complain later. Maybe it's a good idea to wash my hands. Okay, I just need to go ahead and lift this bracket, and this will just open up like so. And avoid touching the bottom of the CPU because there are ends that's going to connect, and also the pins in here, they're known to be very sensitive and fragile. All I need to do is just make sure I find this little triangle here. The triangle will be right there, and then match with the triangle that's shown on the board. I normally see it, but I don't see it on this board. I'm guessing actually this is a triangle, although it is not clearly shown. So let me just go ahead and do that and see. And just gently drop, do not push, is what I heard. Okay, that's seated. It's keyed, so you can't really orient the other way, and it's not moving, that's good. And then lower that down, make sure it latches on there. And then I'm just gonna gently apply pressure and just latch onto there. And CPU is now installed. And now comes the iffy part with this weird CPU cooler. Maybe I should give it a little wipe. I don't think it's such a good idea to wipe with a tissue, but that's the only thing I can find at the moment. Okay, so I'm gonna find where the CPU fan header is, and that's what this is gonna connect to. So I read CPU fan header right here, so I'm gonna make sure I can reach there. Probably can't do this, so I'm just gonna line them up, make sure all the feet are in place, and then I just push. And as long as it clicks, it's all good. And the CPU fan header is in. And let me get this hard drive out of your way. Okay, and just turn around and make sure all the pins are placed well. Yes, it is all secure. Okay, now the time for the RAM. And notice this is not 2, and it is not going to be dual channel, so it doesn't really matter. but often you can find which one is the first one. So it says A1 and then B1. I'm gonna assume A1 is the first one to connect, so I'm just gonna go here, and that's gonna be keyed, so I can just slot this way. If I were to flip around, it won't just go in. So make sure you open this up on either side. Now that one's locked, so I don't need to open that one, and just go just gentle pressure, and as you push in all the way, this will latch on. If I had NVMe, I can connect right here, and if I had graphics card, I can do so as well, but I don't need graphics card. My CPU is gonna do the job just fine. So let's just drop this into the case, and perhaps proper screwdriver. I have not read the manual, so I may just kind of revert a couple of things. But normally if you open up screws in the back for these sort of cases, a few screws will allow you to get inside of it. I assume it's gonna lift up this way. And I'm the type of person who likes figuring things out rather than reading a manual. Although my wife doesn't like that. She always likes asking around and just reading a manual as opposed to finding out. See, here again, I missed another screw. So 4 screws. I'm gonna undo these. And a few screws in here, that's good. I wonder what was just kind of moving around in the front side. Oh. So I'll leave it right here. I don't know why there were 3. It might have been just stuck there and nobody bothered to take it out. Or maybe it came out of this bag. I do see some that are similar, so I'll just leave it right there. So this is an IO shield. I just need to make sure I orient this properly. It's probably gonna drop in like this. So I need to make sure IO shield's gonna drop that way. So I just need to mount this way and make sure it clicks in. And a little bit of force will do. And it's a standard practice to pick up by the CPU cooler, although this is a bit flimsier. So let me undo these. I'll have to do cable management properly later on, although I'm not really so bothered about clearing things up too much because I'm rushing. So line things up. So I'm gonna need motherboard screws. I should really know the difference between these 2 screws because they're 2 different types. Maybe let me just kind of glance at the manual. Case fan in the front, I don't have it. I should really get one later so the case is not really being suffocated. Here, so the screws, one that looks like that, it is to secure the motherboard. So I was right. Okay, and then the next one. It doesn't need to be so tight, just as long as it is secure, it's fine. So this is a front IO pins, and this is audio, and this is USB 3. And it is gonna be keyed, so I can just connect that right there. 3.5-inch hard drive is gonna mount too. So front audio is looking like right here. And these are keyed as well, so that one's missing there. And I need to make sure I find corresponding one inside of the motherboard. It seems like here. So I see 3.5 drive bay right here. So I probably need to undo these and mount the drive in there. So undoing these screws. So I want to make sure I have enough of room for cables. I'm assuming on that side. So we'll probably mount this way and then mount like so. I could be completely wrong. And I can see the holes lining up right here on these 2. So I just need to find the right screws. Oh, by the way, these are for fan so that it is dampening the sound. And I'm gonna use these to mount the hard drive. So later down the line, if I decide to, I can either fit 2.5-inch solid state drives in here or just fit NVMe and just call it a day if I need additional storage or a speed boost. And I definitely want that as opposed to like a branded PC or pre-assembled PC where it kind of inhibits you from doing so. So I have that upgrade path, if you may. So this is where the power supply comes in. So let me just open this one. I want this facing in because I want it to help circulating the air as I don't have any case fans. Lift this, just making sure power supply can be mounted in place. Put it in here. Actually, I forget which is a way it circulates on power supplies. It's usually either this way or that way. So basically it will go up and to the back is what I'm guessing. This case is really nice, I must say. I've dealt with a few Mini-ITX cases, and this one is very tight, but also same time it's very well constructed. I kind of like it more than the other Cooler Master one that I made for my dad. Link in the description, or maybe if I manage to put a button right here. And these are a lot of cables for this tiny little case. So do the thick one first, because that is most often the most difficult. 24-pin cable, and it takes most amount of force. I'm always afraid that I'm gonna snap motherboard or something, but I usually don't. And then next thing I need is another one that goes to motherboard, 8-pin cable. I see it right underneath the power supply. Maybe I can turn it this way so you guys can see it. So I see it right here. And then next one that I'm looking for is SATA. I got a lot of SATA here, and that's probably one for a graphics card. And I even have Molex. I don't need that either. So these I don't need. SATA, and make sure I connect one of them to the hard drive itself. This build would have been a lot simpler if I had NVMe, then no cables are necessary. And if I got modular power supply, then I don't need all of these cables to deal with, but those are more expensive than hard drive and non-modular power supply. So there it is. If you want to be under 400, that's what you gotta do. It looks like if I do L cable here, it's gonna stick out. So I'm just gonna use one of these, middle one. So SATA cable is gonna connect to the hard drive. So note, you need 2 cables connected to the hard drive, and then this end is going to connect to the motherboard. I'm so confused. Alright, let me just turn this around. So plus and minus is that way. Sorry you guys cannot see this. Power LED plus is bottom, and I can barely see it either. Forgive me that you cannot see this. Perhaps I'll fast forward this part. Alright, that's all connected. I just need to tuck away, do a little bit of cable management. So I was able to do a little bit of cable management here, and the hard drive's gonna go there. So I just want to make sure it's all just kind of tidy there. And just lower this into this spot. Okay, that slides in. Let me just tuck away some cables that's on the side. Everything looking good. So hopefully you guys can see it's all just bundled up here. And my overhead camera is just dying, running out of battery. So I'm just gonna rely on this camera here. Let me adjust the angle a little bit so you guys can see it better. So everything should be good to go at this point. I'm just gonna assemble everything back and just test it with the power connected and see if everything posts. And thermal's okay, then it should be good. And I just have to install Windows at that point. These are the antennas for the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so make sure you have them on, otherwise you have very low reception. So screw that on, and then you can just kind of point to the direction, just like the antennas on your routers. So here's a power cable, and I'm gonna actually turn this off. So when I power on, it is not just feeding power right away. And I will always forget to turn that back on and think, oh, why isn't it turning on? It's to the front. I just gotta put a few more screws back in. So everything seems to be all tightened, and I just need to power it. So let's test it. So here I have the portable monitor setup that I was viewing the overhead camera on, but I don't really need a wireless feature for now, so I'm just going to disconnect that. And then I just need to find HDMI cable so it connects to the computer. Alright, so the screen is on. Let's see. Turn the switch on, and there's a part button right here. I don't know if any of the lights are going to turn on. You hear it? Yeah, I hear it. It powered on and immediately powered off. I've seen that happen before. Alright, it says CMO state not set. I need a keyboard. Okay, So it is posting. I just need to set up a couple things and the Windows installed, and then this PC should be ready to go. So that was how to build a PC under 400 for your streaming purposes, your HTPC, home theater PC, or streaming PC, whatever you call it. It's not necessarily heavy machinery, but it is budget oriented streaming PC for your living room. So I hope you have enjoyed this video of me just kind of rambling on building the PC. So if you have enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to continue watching these type of videos. Although this was non-related to architectural, I thought this might be something that you might be interested in, because I really enjoy assembling these type of little PCs that just works. And I hope you guys liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to continue watching these type of videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.